This week, a group of unions filed a lawsuit that seeks to overturn one of the hallmarks of the previous Republican governor's administration. That law, 2011's Act 10, barred state government unions from collectively bargaining.
Under a new liberal state Supreme Court, that law could be on the chopping block. Political reporter Will Keneally spoke to the former governor, and he's here now with more. Hi, Will.
That's right. So we're actually in pretty new political territory here in Wisconsin. For more than a decade, Republicans either controlled all of state government or controlled things like the state Supreme Court, where they could block these liberal challenges. But in August, liberals gained control of the state Supreme Court, and we're starting to see a number of challenges to Republican policies that were put in place over the last decade. Now, that includes things like challenges to the state's legislative maps, which many argue favor Republicans. And this challenge to the collective bargaining law, we asked former Governor Scott Walker what it is like to see such a landmark policy of his appear like it could be struck down.
I'm standing in my home here in Pewaukee, Wisconsin, as a taxpayer, not as a former governor. I want to make sure that in this school district and every other school district across the country and every other municipality and county, that the people that we elect locally are the ones in charge, that we don't go back to a system where a handful of union bosses called the shots across the state.
Now, he says from that perspective, he would consider intervening in this lawsuit, and you can hear much more from our interview this Sunday on For the Record.
And Will, what has been the legacy of Act 10 in the years since it's passed?
So it's, you know, you have to think back more than a decade, right?
Yeah.
So we're coming out of some bad financial times, the 2008 recession there, and so this was really kind of passed in an effort to bolster the state's financial resources. But obviously, you know, since then we've seen a big decline in the power of those public sector unions.
Yeah. Now, this is not the first time this has been challenged, Act 10.
Certainly
It's just
not.
the most recent, but as you said, it's a whole new landscape now.
Exactly.
What will that mean?
Yeah, so this has been challenged a couple of times, both at the state level and the federal level. So obviously you can't, you know, retry these cases again and again and again. That would tie up the court systems. But the plaintiffs are alleging kind of a new series of arguments for this case specifically. It kind of harkens to the issue of you can't treat like firefighters, for example, these public safety employees different than public teachers, for example.
Boy, anybody who went through those weeks will never forget it at the Capitol.
Keep an eye on this, and we'll see you at 10:30 on Sunday.
Certainly.
Will, thank you.
Thank you, Will.